So in the previous video, we looked at the tags, product, and at the data. Here's how we can actually access the data via knowledge queries, also called ContX IQ or CIQ. There's actually, or even Odzen. So there are two types of ways or APIs that we can use to access the data via the OpenID Odzen compliant Odzen endpoint, which allow us to do resource search, action search, and subject searches, as well as, of course, evaluation, access evaluations. And we'll also look at ContX IQ, which provides us full capabilities for getting all kinds of things from the graph, including full context, full subgraphs, and so forth. So let's jump right into it. So the first thing we'll look at is the Odzen API. This is a fully OpenID Odzen 1.0 compliant API. So if we wanted to run an evaluation, such as, for example, given a user, these IDs are actually coming from an external system. So we're just reproducing here. The external system here is SharePoint, and it's shared across our indicated knowledge graph. So this user, so the question here is, does this user own this document? And we can run this and say true. Now we can copy that document, for example, and do maybe a subject search. And the subject search will tell us who else can actually access the document. So given the user, here's the document. Actually, let's do this. So who can, the question is which user or who can actually update the document. So we'll have a list of users, a couple of users. Great. So if we take one of these users and we do an action search, we want now to know what type of actions does this user have access to on this document, on this resource. So we have a user. Here's the action search. And we're going to paste the user here. And the document was this one. So copy paste for now. Not very interesting, but you know. So there we go. And now we see that this user can perform these actions on this document. Great. And finally, as a resource search, I want to know all the documents that a given user has access to, or in this case, owns. So this particular user, what documents does that user own? And there you go. A whole bunch, actually. And how about read, or actually write? None. I must have mistyped that. Actually, it should be create update and not write. It should be update. And there you go. So this is just the Odzen API. Great, it works. So that's a way to access the data that is very compliant to OpenID standards. But now here's a more complete way as well to access the data. This is using ContX IQ. ContX IQ allows you to create full-blown knowledge queries that can be quite complex with complex paths, and then retrieve a whole bunch of data. So there's two ways to access to run those queries, to run them as an admin, if you will. So in that case, you just use an application type of credential, or it's actually a client assertion, a JAWT assertion that you use, which identifies a client application. And then that application, we assume in that case, has full access to the data. This could be quite useful. The other way is to run it as a logged in user. In that case, we provide an access token. And in that case, the subject is the subject of the token, and we will only fetch the data that subject is entitled to see. So in the first case, we'll look at the admin access, and here we have a query that is predefined. In the following video, we'll look at how to define those ContX IQ queries, but here's been predefined. This one reads all the user job apps. So for every user, it gives us the jobs they have, and all the apps actually gives us the list of apps that their jobs entitle them access to. So I'm going to run this, and I have here a finance app, and there you go. Here the authorization, I don't have any authorization. The only authorization is that of the token, the client token I was mentioning. So the other type of access here is in this particular case, I have a user token here. I'm providing an access token. This is my own token. So the query I'm running in this case is give me all the documents that I can read, essentially. Pretty simple. And here's the list of documents. There's quite a few, but you can see I can retrieve a whole bunch of properties. In the next video, we'll look at how to define this, and we'll see a bit more elaborate examples of what you can do with ContX IQ.